Hi, everybody. My name is Angelina, and I am your spiritual alignment coach here at Spiritual Connections LLC. I am coming to you guys all today to give you a little bit of an energy update for this week and to also catch up because I know it's been absolutely forever. And I am excited to be here. I'm excited to be here on YouTube with you all. So I just kind of want to wait a couple of minutes just to kind of get back into the swing of things. It's been a really long time since I've been able to come on here to do a live or to do a video at all. So yeah, I'm really excited. I want to talk to you guys today about the energy of the week, which is don't be a hero. And I'm going to explain what that means and why we're talking about it. I'm also kind of thinking that we're probably not going to get through it all today just because I find that sometimes this content can be a little heavy, so it can be a little bit more digestible if we break it down into a couple different videos over the course of this week and maybe next week. So let's go ahead and jump in. So if you're watching this live, please feel free to pop in the comments to say hello. If you're watching this as a replay, welcome. Welcome to Spiritual Connections LLC. Please make sure that you like and subscribe, hitting that little bell so that you get notified anytime I happen to do a live or to post a new video so you can keep up to date with everything that we have going on. So we do lives, or I do lives, and every once in a while I'll do some pre-recorded videos. Sometimes we'll do readings, and sometimes it'll just kind of be an event where I'm going somewhere and goofing off and exploring and just kind of doing my own thing. So my dog and my cat are also being super cute. So it's a little bit distracting because I want to make sure he doesn't bite her or do anything weird. So let's talk a little bit about the energy going on lately. So what I've noticed for myself as well as with my clients is that there seems to be this kind of pulling energy asking us to move forward, right? We're coming to this place where we're almost in fall. So fall is all about these new beginnings and just kind of getting ready to go into a hibernation and healing period. But before we get there, we're being asked to close up all of the old chapters of the past. So you might be experiencing a lot of emotion, some emotional outbursts, perhaps just pushing all of your emotions down and not really wanting to deal with them. That's very typical for this particular time of the year, especially this year, because we're closing up all of the old chapters of the last couple of years where our lives were put on hold, where the way that we worked was completely changed, right? So, like, we used to go to work, and now a lot of people are doing remote work. And so now we're kind of transitioning back to going to work instead of just the remote stuff. We're also having a lot of these kind of summer flings ending and new relationships beginning, or a time of emotional healing from these past relationships that we're letting go into the past, right? We're being asked to let go of a lot so that we can step into our new journey. So I like to call this the hero's journey, right? Because every single person, you, me, and everybody in between, we are all on our own journey. I like to call it like our movie, right? Who is the star lead to your movie? Of course you are, right? And I'm the star lead to my own movie. And then, of course, we have supporting cast, and then we have temporary cast, right? Just like any other movie, we've got extras and things like that. Basically, I think about it like anytime I go to the grocery store, there's people there, right? I'm not going to sit and tell my whole life story to every single person I see at the grocery store, right? They're simply there. But to each and every one of those people, they're living their movie. So, a little bit of kind of backstory to what we're going to talk about today. So, when I talk about the hero's journey, I'm talking about anytime you're looking through your own eyes, through your own perspective, and you're experiencing your day to day life. So, as we're looking at this time that's telling us to close all of these chapters, to close that book, and to start something new from your own perspective, we have to think about our own energy. What are we doing with that? So, to keep this super simple, every single person operates when we kind of get put on the spur of the moment. We all operate with fight, fight, or flee. fight, flight, or freeze. There we go. So when we talk about fight, obviously that can be a little bit more aggressive or assertive. When we have flight, it's typically we're going to run away from a situation. And when we have fight, fight, flight, or flee. See, I can't even think it straight. So flee would be running away from the situation. Freeze, there we go. That's the word I'm thinking of. Freeze would be we just stop. We don't know what to do. This is what we typically look at, or we sit in rumination or stagnation. Okay. So this is maybe a relationship that we're in that's meant to end, but we don't know how to end it. So we're just staying in it, right? We don't do anything. We're in this complete stop motion moment. When we're talking about the hero's journey specifically, at this time of the year, with this energy that's moving us forward, is we're making all of these changes and we're doing it with sort of those two energies, right? So we're either fighting, as in we're like, yes, get away from me, or excuse me, fleeing, get away from me. I'm done with this. I'm closing this chapter. I'm done. Or we are freezing, we're staying in the relationship or whatever, or we're trying to fight for it. We're trying to make it work. We're trying to fit ourselves, the square peg, into a round hole, and we're expecting that to happen for us. And I mean, you'll have to let me know in the comments if you're watching this live or if you're watching this as replay. Where are you at? Are you fighting, freezing, or fleeing, right? Sorry, it's really hard to say. Say that 5 times fast. Let me know how, like, if you could say it 5 times fast. Okay, so with that in mind, so we've got this hero's journey. We're looking at our lives from our own perspective. We're very self-centered, right? And I don't mean self-centered in sort of a narcissist, sociopath kind of way. I'm talking self-centered as in we are the star to our own movie. And so we see every person, including ourselves, from our own perspective. We're not necessarily thinking about how the other person is feeling or interacting with us. We're just thinking about our own safety and our own journey, our own movie, so to speak, our own story. So what's happening right now in the universe is closing those chapters, but also what happens if we don't. So the thing about the hero's journey that has always bothered me, and this is sort of my own in Angelina land, Angelina feelings about the hero's journey, is that it's, like I mentioned, self-centered, right? It's your own thing. You are your own person, and you are the one who gets to make every decision. So I like to think about this like I'm out in the middle of the ocean, right? Completely stranded. There's nobody else there. It's just me. And I'm yelling out into the universe for help and nobody's coming, right? Because I'm the hero in my own journey. So if I am going to be saved in this like analogy, then I'm the one who's going to do it, right? Nobody else is going to come rescue me from the middle of this ocean. That's the hero's journey, right? Yeah, there are kind of these supporting people who come in and lend a hand or give a message or, say, oh, don't turn left, turn right, or whatever. But the ultimate thing is you get to decide what you're going to do with that. So here's where we're at. We have this opportunity. We have this opportunity right now, each and every one of you, to pause on the idea of the hero's journey and instead think about what are these opportunities asking you to address. So are you meant to be on this hero's journey from this self-centered perspective? Or are you supposed to be in a space of interconnectedness with all of the people who are surrounding you, right? Are you supposed to have this moment of your own saving, right? Where you save yourself. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Every single person has this opportunity to save themselves. Every person can get out of this victim mentality or shame or blame or guilt or whatever. We all have that opportunity to break free of that ourselves. And also, we have this opportunity to connect with other people and to help other people and to motivate and empower other people, because that's kind of what the spiritual journey is all about, right? Is once you do come to this space of, okay, I can either be self centered or self identify, or I can operate in the self and I can operate under this space of connectedness and understanding that every single person who comes into my life, there's a reason. And that reason is not necessarily for me. Sometimes it can be about that other person. And I'll give you guys a better kind of example of that in just a second. So if something were to happen, it might not be about me. It might be about that other person, and I'm supposed to help them, right? I am supposed to be that supporting character rather than in this moment, I am the star, right? It's all interchangeable. And so what the energy of this time is really bringing us to is it's not just about our healing. When we are awakened, when we are spiritual, when we are working on our gifts or working on ourselves, is to realize that each and every moment is an opportunity where we can fight, freeze, or flee. I'm just going to say it in that order because it's just easier. We have those opportunities, right? And what does fight look like for you from a spiritual perspective, from the self identification, or from the soul identification? Is how do we proceed? How are we going to be true to ourselves in this moment? So, in another video in the future, I will do my best to describe the difference between identity and self, but I also give you kind of like a little bit of a rundown right now. So, identity is this thing that's put on us, right? So, I was named Angelina. That's not something I chose. I am a spiritual alignment coach, right? So, that is what somebody else said. Yep, that's what you are, right? Now, I can take those identities, those things that other people say is me, and I can choose to attach myself to it or not, right? I can choose to say, yes, on a soul level, I am that thing, or I could say, no, I'm not. So, Angelina is my name. That's what I was given. On a soul level, I can say, yes, that resonates with me, that brings me joy, that fulfills me, that name. And so I choose to accept it. Or I can say, nope, that's not my name. My spiritual name is something else. I don't know. Sorry, I have an eyelash in my eye. Okay. So I can choose to say, nope, that's not my name. My name is something else. And then I'm going to accept that as my new self, right? This new name. Let's say, I don't know, Winifred, because that just popped in my head. So I could say, no, my name's not Angelina. My name is Winifred. That resonates with my soul. And so that is my new self, right? So when I look at this spiritual journey and I have this opportunity to fight, flight, or freeze, I can say to myself on a soul level, what would fulfill me? What would bring me peace, satisfaction, love, abundance, expansion? Or what am I meant to do for this other person? Okay, so I'll give you guys a really good example. So the other day, I was at Safeway, and which is a grocery store here in Washington State. So I went to Safeway, and there was this woman, and she had 3 children, little children of varying ages, right? And they're all kind of around her, and they're staying really close to her. And this other woman is in a truck, so she's not paying attention. And she's kind of on her phone, and she's going way too fast in a parking lot, which is a huge rant for me, but I will save that for another day. And she's just not paying attention. So she goes and she almost hits this little girl who's walking with her mom in the parking lot. So in this moment, I have a choice, right? So I can fight or say something, right? I can say something to this woman. I can freeze. So I could just stop literally where I'm at and do nothing. Or I can just walk away, get in my car, and go home, right? So I have these options. Now, because I'm me, I decided that the best thing for me to do is to say something, because this is where I shop. These are children. The mom didn't know what to do. She was in freeze mode. So she didn't say anything. She didn't know what to do. So I said something to the woman because her window was down. And I said, respectfully, hey, you really need to slow down. You're in a parking lot and you almost hit that little kid. And the lady was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I will be more careful, right? Super simple. Now, was I operating in this mentality of hero? I don't know, right? This is something for us to discuss, which is why I wanted to have this kind of as a more of a live, right? So if you're watching this, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you think. So if we look at the definitions from the beginning of the video, was I operating as a hero? So was I the main person in the story? I personally don't think so, right? I think that the main person in the story was the woman who was driving the car. And the reason why I think that is because that person, as well as a little child, those are the two people who are going to be most affected if something bad happens, right? I'm not necessarily going to be negatively affected because I wasn't driving the truck and I'm not the mother and I'm not the child, right? I'm just kind of a bystander observing. So, in that moment, I had the opportunity to be that guiding factor, that side person, the person who says, don't turn left, turn right, or in this case, slow down, pay attention, you're in a parking lot. And those two people were able to feel a little bit safer, hopefully, right? Because it wasn't an attack. It wasn't a, what are you doing? You're crazy and you almost killed that child and, whatever. It just was a simple, hey, you're in a parking lot, man. Like, please be careful. So think about this as you move forward. So take some time to identify for yourself on a soul level. So not identity, not what other people tell you, but on a soul level. How do you operate? It doesn't have to be the same every time, right? Because every single moment is going to be subjective. There's definitely some times where I run away from that situation and don't want to get involved. And I'm not always proud of that, but sometimes I am. There's definitely times where I freeze and I have no idea what to say or do because I'm a human being. And there's times where I will die on that hill, right? Where I'm going to fight for what I believe is right in that moment. So take some time for yourself to identify what kind of a person are you on that level. Are you going to fight for other people and yourself? Are you willing to allow people, empower people to fight their own battles as often as possible? Take some time to think about that this week because that definitely is a theme of what we're looking at. As you continue through this week and you start to see these situations play out, knowing you're not perfect, because I'm sure there's going to be times where you might make a mistake, as we all do, to give yourself some grace and to take some time to identify what would have been the best option in that moment. Should I have fought? Should I have run away? Or should I have just waited and observed to see where things are going to happen, see what things are going to happen? The other part of this is recognize when you're not the main person of the story, right? Or when you are, because there's definitely going to be times this week when you're going to see these situations and you have an opportunity to take yourself from that self-centered, as in self-observed, self-perceived place to the outward perspective of what really truly is best for everyone involved in this moment. And how can I support that? All right, everyone, that is what I have for you today. Please feel free to leave me some comments. This is the first video I've done in a while, so I'm definitely open to any feedback that is kind and rooted with compassion and grace because I am a human being. But I'm so glad I was able to come on here today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and this content. Again, please make sure you like and subscribe, hitting that little bell so that you can get notified anytime I come on here and post a new video. Also, if there's some content that you would like to see on this video in terms of ego alignments, past life regressions, subliminal coding, any of those things, feel free to leave me a comment and some feedback letting me know what you're interested in. If you're ever interested in booking a session with me, feel free to go to my website, spiritualconnectionsllc.com, and I would love to meet you all. All right, everybody, until next time, I am Angelina, your spiritual alignment coach, and I hope you all have a blessed day.